I stand shoulder to shoulder with men of war in the arena of battle training, and I win their respect. These are a few thoughts that I have penned down. The only difference between a woman and a man is that man is born out of a woman, but a woman cannot be born out of a man. A woman has all the traits of a man and more. She has compassion, adaptability, and humility. These traits were imbibed in her to support her man when he is helpless, hopeless, and mindless. So woman is woo plus man, made to woo a man, to comfort him and stand equal partner to him in all the games of life. In all her stages of life, a woman needs to be made aware of her hidden strengths and ability. She can be empowered by simply uncovering the pre-existent latent powers present in her being. So I'm going to draw certain parallels in my life to speak about what I think is woman empowerment. To start with, as a child, I think as a child, apart from schooling, sports is very important. I was the daughter of a freedom fighter, and my father often told me stories about his participation in the freedom struggle. I was very impressed by this, and I thought someday if life gave me an opportunity, I too would want to contribute to the country. There is distinctly a story that I must tell you about how I changed from weakness to strength. Back in school, I was bullied and I was a weak child. So I wanted to change that equation. I grew up, I met this young doctor male who later became my husband, and he was into martial arts. So I decided to learn martial art in order to change that equation. I had spent about 2 years in martial arts when an incident occurred which changed my life. We used to live at a place which is very close to the beach, and every day for 2 hours we would go there in the morning and practice our martial art. One day when we were training, there were 3 roadside urchins who were passing by. They passed some lewd comments on me. We didn't want to stop our training, so we let that go. On the way back, when we were returning back, they were standing there at a distance. My husband told me, "Okay, it's your fight." I began to protest, but before anything, he has just moved out. I walked slowly. My heart was thudding. I was extremely scared. As I passed those 3 rat picker urchins, suddenly one of them came and stood right in front of my path. I was looking down, so I moved to one side. He moved and stood in front of me. I moved this side. He moved and stood in front of me again. I was looking down. I looked up and looked at his face, and what I saw I did not like. I saw a sneer and a grin of underestimation on his face. I don't know what came over me, but I lifted my hand and I slapped him really hard. He reeled back with the slap, and angrily he came rushing at me. I moved back and I lifted my knee, and he got a shot on his head. Out of the blue, another of those boys came, opened up a knife, and he slashed it across. Thankfully, for whatever reflexes I had developed, I just moved out, and very soon there was a crowd that came there, and the rest is history. But it was at this time that I understood what it was to change from weakness to strength. I had now changed. Instead of feeling controlled, I now began to feel like someone who can control. So what I wanted to say is that One should not be conquered by fear. Fear has to be channelized and used towards yourself, towards betterment. Let me talk about teenagers. When you're a teenager, what I think is very important for a woman is to finish at least her graduation. I'll talk about a story again about my life. We went to the beach one day, my husband and I, and we were standing watching the beautiful waves. We were standing at the edge like that, and there was a small sandy patch below. My husband's mobile just slipped out of his hands and fell down. It was a height of about 15 feet, more than this. He just jumped down and he started fiddling with his phone. I stood there looking down at him and wondering, why is it that I can't jump? I was very scared to jump. And he looked up and said, come on, jump down. It's beautiful here. One part of my mind said, don't jump, you're going to break your bones. The other part of my mind said, jump, if he can do it, why can't you? I blanked my mind out and I jumped. So what I want to say is that you need to take that first leap. That is very essential. Adulthood. It's very important for you to explore your own aptitude. My husband and I were members of a local sports club, and we were very good in shooting. So one day, a chance meeting with the senior police official who saw our skills, he said, I would like to come for you to give a demonstration to my force. Later on, it became training the force, and then we were called by different forces to train the forces in shooting. I will speak of one more example over here. We were one day sitting on the firing range. The firing session was over, and we were tired, exhausted. It was a sunny afternoon, and there was a bowl of fruits kept there, and we were just relaxing and eating those fruits. There were some apples there in the bowl, so suddenly my husband picked up an apple and placed it on his head and said, shoot. I looked at him and I said, you know, you're joking. So he said, I'm not joking. You're a combat shooting instructor. Why are you hesitating? I picked up the weapon. I was trembling. My hands were trembling. I steadied my hands. I looked through both the sights and the apple, and I pressed the trigger. The apple splattered into 1,000,000 pieces. Then I said, you know what? Take this apple, keep it on your head. I'm going to try once more. So he said, okay. This time with one swift movement, I shot at the apple. It was into 1,000,000 pieces. And that was the origins of the reflex shooting method. So what I want to tell all the young girls here is that you must explore your aptitude. You must use the principle of cautious boldness. Be bold, but with caution. For the working woman, I think it's very important for you to aim for the top slot. With the armed forces, I first started by training them in unarmed combat. Then it went on to shooting. After that, it went on to quick response team training. And finally, to close quarter battle. I trained the ATS QRTs of 15 states of India, and I've helped in modernization of close quarter battle. The fifth, okay, so sorry to go back, regarding that, I'd just like to say one thing. Do not stagnate where you are. You got to innovate, you have to improvise and go up ahead. My next point is to women who are in a relationship. A lot of young women here who are in relationships must understand one thing. Whether it's an arranged marriage or you're in love, it's very important to assess your partner. Defy possessiveness. Check out your man before marriage, even if it's arranged. By that I mean anger spells, possessiveness, male chauvinistic attitudes, all are bad indicators. In addition, spendthriftness and excessive demands. My man was very encouraging. courteous, met my father and stated his seriousness to marry. So that's what you should do if you're serious. To marriage, say no to dowry. I had nothing and I was asked for nothing. I lived in a chawl where you have a common toilet. I lived like that for years, but today I have a large penthouse in the middle of the city and I have the #1 combat academy. To a wife, you must demand to work. We were doing assignments first together, my husband and I. And then one day I decided that I will do an assignment on my own. He was encouraging. So I went ahead and trained the Pune police all by myself. Later, years later, I also did joint training for 2 special forces. I had several injuries, but the 2 most important ones were, one, I had a head injury. I fell on my head and I was unconscious. I could remember nothing. It's like your memory is just wiped out. The second time I had an injury which was a vertebral fracture. I fell on my back and I fractured my back. Both these times I had to contemplate, do I want to go on? The answer from deep within was just one thing. If there's anything I'll do in life, it's this one thing. So what I want to say is that there will always be obstacles in your path. You're not going to reach your goal easy. The journey is never easy, but you need to fight, go through the obstacle, go around the obstacle, but reach your goal anyways. For a daughter-in-law, my advice, win over your mother-in-law. When I got married, my husband was the only son. There were obviously some tensions between my mother-in-law and me. I realized that my mother-in-law was the first woman in my husband's life. And I understood this, and she therefore felt a little insecure with my entry into his life. I encouraged my husband to spend time with his mother, to speak to her about her problems, to go out with her, to buy saris for her, and finally there was calm in the household. I took care of my mother-in-law despite everything else as well. My mother-in-law died in my arms. And when she died in her last moments of death, she said, if there is another life, I would love you to be my daughter. As a mother, show your daughter that there's a world beyond home. Because of the physical demands of my profession, I could not have my own biological child. But to complete the family, I decided that I will adopt a child. And I decided to adopt a girl child. Because I do not in any way believe that a woman is inferior to a man. My daughter today is the Deputy Director Administration of my organization. And she is a loving daughter and a very capable one. I also made a movie of mixed martial arts recently, and my daughter, I decided to make her play the lead role. As a homemaker, you must balance kitchen, family and yourself. When I'm back home, I cook for my family. I do my army assignments. I also spar, I train with my husband. And in addition to this, we've authored books together. Some of my books I have gifted to the government, to the Home Ministry. As well as that, besides that, I also sent my books to the FBI and the Interpol libraries, and they found a very proud place in their libraries. To a mother-in-law, befriend your daughter-in-law. If your daughter-in-law wants to work, let her. If your daughter-in-law wants to be a homemaker, let her. Do not impose your views on her. To a grandmother, I would like to say one thing: teach your grandchildren gender equality, because it is at that age that children can be influenced. If you teach them gender equality, you are changing the whole world. To a senior citizen woman, I would say, secure your property. Keep what belongs to you with you. And finally, to society, I would say, motivate and encourage, enlighten fellow women. I'm called for a lot of women empowerment lectures, so I'm doing that job because I like to do it. Apart from that, I do have a program called DARE, which is Defense Against Rape and Eve Teasing, which is very popular with the corporates. Last but not the least, I will just say one thing. A woman is not meant to be put down, a woman is not meant to put down men, demand equal rights or fight them to rise. A woman is meant to complement man, stand shoulder to shoulder with him in all the battles, and to rise to her maximum potential as any human should. So conquer your weakness, take that first leap. Don't underestimate your potential. Open your mind and make your passions happen. Think out of the box. Climb the ladder. Don't imitate, but innovate. The me you think is the me you will be. Express yourself and your radical ideas. Stretch your ability. You are capable of so much more. Impossible is just a word. Take it out of your vocabulary. Down but not out. Never say die. To hell with circumstance. You create the opportunities for yourself. Thank you.
मोदी साहब यहाँ पर एक गरीब कुटुंब से आते हुए भी इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री बने, इसका क्रेडिट किसको जाता है? तो डेमोक्रेसी को जिंदा रखने वाले कांग्रेस पार्टी को जाता है।